My name is Sahil S.R Shah. I'm a consultant in politics, policy and constitutional affairs. I have an expertise in East African politics and history. And I'm currently a first-year student in the MPPM class here at SBS. I think there will be a less likelihood of radical change as you saw in the post-Nyayo period. So in the post-Nyayo period, we saw a very robust acceleration of regional trade and integration because of the fact that it was actually slow during the Nyayo period. It was picking up at the end of it, but it was slow. But now if you compare that situation with Uganda, if we consider President Yoweri Museveni's time to be akin to the Nyayo period, it's actually not, it's seen a greater regional trade and integration than what was witnessed during the Nyayo period. And thus, the clamor to accelerate it will be less. The opposition in Uganda is primarily focused on introducing political reforms. And that is actually primarily what their basis is on. They're running, the basis is political reforms. In Kenya, when the NARC government came into fruition, political constitutional reforms were at the heart of it, but also was economic reform and regional integration with that. When it comes to Uganda, from what I've witnessed and from what I've analyzed with regards to the debates, the manifestos, there is an emphasis on political reforms. There's a stark lack of emphasis on regional integration and trade. And this is because of the fact that this last decade that we have seen has seen an increase in regional integration and trade. And it is moving at a very good pace. I think it does depend on the players who are involved at the current time. For example, we look at the relations between the current Jubilee government and President Yoweri Museveni, who have been quite fruitful, and that relationship has actually been one of the key pillars that has been accelerating regional integration in these past few years. We look at Tanzania. Tanzania is a very different case, and in fact there's been studies that have been, and statistics that have been conducted, polls that say that 80% of Tanzanians do not favor regional integration because of the fact that Tanzania's landmass is greater than all of the other nations combined. So a lot of Tanzanians are very wary of increasing regional integration because they fear an influx of people taking over jobs, taking over land, taking over industries. That is a position that can obviously be reversed. We've seen the new president, John Magufuli, make some very big changes, some very headlining changes to his government, and perhaps regional integration shall come after. We have not seen any real push on his part towards accelerating it further than it already has done. With regards to Uganda and Kenya, I mean, historically, Uganda and Kenya were administered as one during the colonial period. There are actually greater ties between Uganda and Kenya than they are with Kenya and Tanzania because of that whole colonial history that we had. The fact that the East African Protectorate was Uganda and Kenya put together. Building on that history is, I think, easier with regards to Kenya and Uganda. And with the current relations that are being fostered between the two governments right now, I think if Museveni was to continue, we would see an acceleration of integration and regional trade between Kenya and Uganda. Hopefully that will start to build up a bigger East African trading bloc that we already have, but integrated.